Well, hey, I am Clint Allen, and welcome to this episode on the 08 F150 Flip. Today what we're going to be covering is we're going to try something new. Nothing I like more is on a black vehicle to have these headlamps tinted out. Fact of the matter is, though, is that it's pretty costly. Brand new headlamps that are already tinted, sometimes the good quality runs run up to 200, 300 bucks. That's just for the fronts. Yeah, you can get some cheap China knockoffs, but they don't last. And then also we're going to cover the windshield cowling cover ends. A really piss poor design done by Ford. And I have yet to buy any F-150 that these things have not fallen off. So I'm going to show you a real simple way and a cheap way to replace them and have them not fall off for your future customer. So what we're going to give a shot with today is Vivid's new headlamp and tail lamp tint. Just like any type of vinyl wrap. I'm sure you have seen vinyl wrap in the past. I have done a few vehicles, a handful of vehicles that I've vinyl wrapped top to bottom, tip to toe, bumper to bumper. And when you know how to do body work like I do, and you know how to paint, well, vinyl wrap is a bit of a pain in the ass. You got to have some patience. It can turn out absolutely beautiful. The handful of projects that I did were just absolutely fantastic. I was even impressed. But you have to buy the good quality vinyl wrap. You can't get the cheap crap. And the cost in comparison to scuffing down a vehicle and doing a little bit of taping, masking, and painting, I can do it a hell of a lot cheaper repainting the whole vehicle than I can a vinyl wrap, and then it's on there for good. Where a lot of vinyl wrap colors, especially red, fade out in a year or two, and most vinyl wraps are only good for about 5 years. I don't know. I got mixed emotions about it. I prefer to put down some paint, but you do what you want. But let's get back to the fact here. So you can't just go and wash this up and then clean it off and start putting on your wrap. We got to make sure that the surface is nice and smooth here. This is hitting bugs and stones and you name it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go after this with some 2000 wet dry. Chances are at home you're going to need to do this by hand, and that just simply is going to get some 2000 grit from Harbor Freight, for instance. Just some sheets like this. Do a tri-fold. Soak it in water for about a half an hour, and then come through and in really small increments, then go through and sand it down all nice and smooth. So I've obviously progressed from that. And same thing, you can get these sanding discs which have a little bit of cushion to them at Harbor Freight. The reason why I bring up Harbor Freight is that it's the lowest cost. Good place to go get these. Not as good as the 3M models, but they do last pretty long. Get her wet down. For you that are new, if you're going to go and get a DA like this, make sure that you're not hitting the paint down here while you're doing it. If you feel anytime you're working on anything, while it's putting on a car part, doing some sanding, any scenario, whatever scenario that you think, if you're going to get into this, always take masking tape and mask off the area then around it. So if you do nick it, you're not doing more work by having to buff this out or touch it up with paint. So there's a really good tip right there. So it might take 1, 2, 3 sandings in order to get a really nice, smooth, flat. You don't feel anything, you know, just like smooth as a baby's behind. Want to get it dried up real good, get into all the nooks and crannies. Now, if you notice through my videos, I'm always using these, what I'm going to call rags. These are those microfibers, and what I do is when the automotive store or online I see them on sale, then I'll buy a whole packet of them, and I use them like I would paper toweling. You use paper toweling, goes in the garbage. You buy these, you use them like paper toweling. When you get a full basket load of them, you dump them into the public washing machine, because don't do it in yours, and put in some degreaser, like Purple Power ×2, about 4 cups of that, and then really hammer it down real good with some regular laundry detergent. Wash them on up, dry them. Guess what? Don't have to keep on buying paper toweling all the time. Good way to save money. Next thing here, we want to take either some acetone. If this is your first time using acetone, then go down and get yourself some 70-30 or 90-10 alcohol, and make sure all the water, residue, and everything is off of the headlight. Also, do not leave the acetone or the alcohol sitting wide open. It evaporates very fastly. All the nooks and crannies we have to get into. Then we're going to come back through and we're going to polish it by hand. Get off all the residue. Now, down in the description, you're going to find the Vivid at Amazon. You can just hit that link and it'll take you right to this right here. Now, they got two different styles. You have a light and a dark. You want to choose the light, by the way. The dark, it might end up getting you or your future customer in trouble. So that's going to be down in the link. The primer that I'm going to show you also is going to be down in the link, and the type of natural renewer that I use. A handful of things are down there, and when you buy it through there, not only are you getting a good price, but you're supporting the channel. So any support would be appreciated. Other tools that we're going to need for the job, you're going to need to have a heat gun or a good quality blow dryer. This is the 3M Tape Primer 94. Primer 94, down in the description. This right here we're going to put on the edges, and that's going to stop any type of lift over time. Most of Vivid products you're not going to have an issue with if you properly heat them, but I'm here to tell you this is like insurance. If you put this on, it's not going to lift up. Then we're going to need a squeegee, the kind that has the felt on it, and then a good sharp knife. So let's get this measured up. Now we're going to need to tuck behind the light also. So let's put the tape measure right on the edge. Come this way. Come around. And I've got 21 inches. I want a back wrap, so 22 inches. Extra slop just in case. Let's cut it at 24 inches. Kind of help you get the feel, kind of pre-put it on. Get an idea of what you're dealing with. Let's put the primer on right away. You can put this on with a brush, Q-tip, rag. Now we don't want to put it on here. We just want to put it where it's going to be overlapping. That way it doesn't unfold on itself. That's going to start drying up here because we do want to dry before we tuck everything in. Now vinyl wrap has come a long ways. They have air release bubbles. And man, does that make a difference from when they first started out with this stuff. Makes relieving little air pockets so much easier. All right, so we got it laid on, so where we basically have a target that we know we're going to be able to have enough when we overlap up here. We got enough over here to come around the back side of the light. So we want to start in the center. Work our way. Like I said, with this new release technology, man, it's made this life a lot simpler. Don't have to pull the headlight off the vehicle, just a nice, good, solid pull. Let's get the easiest part, the flattest part, done first. And what we don't want is to have this working against us. So I'm going to come in and relieve that right away. And that's the beauty of using a high quality vinyl, is that you can pull away, heat up, put back on until you get all of those little crinkles or air bubbles or whatever the case out of the way. Then once you get everything worked out really good here, let's hit it with some heat. and this will help suck it to the whatever you're applying it to. In this obviously case, headlamp. So far, pretty impressed. All right, I'm going to come on in here and make my relief cuts. Just make sure you don't cut the metal. Gonna make a little cut right here, come up on an angle. To make this easier, I'm gonna cut this outside of the headlight, so proud of the headlight. So if the headlight ends right here, I want about a 1/2 inch overlap of extra vinyl. And sometimes it's like you just don't have enough hands, but just be patient, take your time. Cut off the excess. This side. So now if you get yourself in a situation where you keep on stretching this, it's just not working out, we're losing a little bit of the patience. If you stretch this out and it's heated, all you have to do is heat it up again, hold it, let it relax, and it'll actually shrink back to the way it was before. Very nice to work with. Very, very nice to work with. Now when you're doing this right here, and you get little crease bubbles and you're like, man, it's just not working out like the video. Heat's your friend. Get it pushed in there. You'll see a couple little creases. Hit it lightly. Boom, gone. All right, next step. So now we need to lock this in with heat. This is the preferred choice, which is a heat gun, but a good quality air dryer is going to do the same thing. Now what we want to do, go back and forth. I like to take it up to about 190 degrees. If you don't have one of these, it'll be in the description. You can get one. They're cheap. Comes in handy. All kinds of stuff. So 190 to 210 degrees. And what we're doing is we're giving this vinyl a new memory. If we get just a little bit of lift like I'm seeing right here, come back in, tuck it, leave it alone, it's done. There, I'm pretty impressed. Once again, down in the description if you're interested. And this is pretty cool. I like this. Saved me a ton of money, and it's a good quality product. Excellent. Let's move on to the cowling here. Oh, well, neighbors just got home and after 15 minutes managed to get out of the vehicle and into the house with their kids. You ever notice how long it takes a woman to get out of a fucking vehicle? You know, I'm going to a store, I get into my parking place, off, out the door I go, in. 15 minutes later, a woman is first thinking about opening the door on the vehicle. Explain to me in the comments what the fuck that's about. Anyway, this is a small little trim emblem, or I'm sorry, trim piece that goes right here. One of Ford's really piss poor, stupid design. Like they couldn't have built this a little bit larger to fit where it's supposed to fit. No, we got these little pieces. I have never bought one of these that actually had these two. But I'm going to show you right now how to put it on and make it stay on. So normally you get a little Christmas tree accessory push pin to hold this in place. And that comes out, and then you pick it up and you lock it in there. But what I have learned over the years is I'm just going to take a screwdriver and I'm going to start on an angle. I'm just going to push this in the hole, this in the hole, this in the hole, this in the hole. And as I'm doing that, I'm just bringing it down like that. Makes it easier. All right, so boom, it's in there. Now, for some odd strange reason, Ford's genius engineers thought that it was going to stay there. We're going to run a little tape over here as a guard for the adhesive. A thing on tape, all right? I've got this really cheap low end, but does not put the adhesive and leave the adhesive on whatever you're attaching it to. So I got real cheap tape. Then if I'm masking off for something that I really need it to stay on, but I still don't want to have any type of residue left behind, there's like a medium tape. And if I need something that's really fine line where I don't want paint to get underneath, or I definitely don't want it to come loose at any point, there's really expensive tape, and it adheres really good, and it's from 3M. The point being is that every penny you save when you're doing something like this is a penny in your pocket. So I'm just doing a quick mask right here. I just need real quick, cheap masking tape, and preferably not that tan brown stuff. So right on the edge here, so I'm going to mask this off. I just don't want to get any of the adhesive on the paint. And I'm not tucking it underneath either, just wherever the edge of this is right here. And then we got windshield adhesive. Windshield adhesive is a great universal, not hard setting adhesive. And right on the edge of the tape on the metal is where I'm gonna lay that nice bead, 1/4 inch bead. I'm gonna tuck it down like that. It's in place, perfect. Then I'm gonna come back and pull your tape like this. No matter what, always pull your tape like that. So we got that. Then hold it down and just give it a quick wipe while that is still wet and easily to remove. Boom. Once this sets up, this piece is never coming out of here again. If somebody has to remove this to replace a wiper motor, I would highly doubt it. I have over 700,000 miles on one of my trucks, 1 million miles on another one. At several trucks that I've never had to replace a wiper motor on a Ford. So don't worry about that. These Cowling trim pieces also will be down in the description. That way you can just easily reference it. I get the lowest cost, cheapest ones. I've mentioned in several videos about OEM parts and the quality of those OEM parts. This is one of them that you just get the cheapest stuff that you can find. I mean, if you can find this for less than what I bought this for in the link in the description, hell, go buy it. Because a Ford OEM is not going to add any better quality value than what this cheap one will right here. So there we have it. We saved a lot of money on these smoked headlamps by just simply going through and putting on that new Vivid. We've shown you also how to handle that little trim pieces. These are the little things that sell vehicles. If you just leave that, you're just asking for somebody to try to kick you down on price. And one of the things that I always do is establish what my price is, a fair price for both the seller and the buyer. And that's where I'm at. Don't even ask me to come down on price. Don't give me an offer, won't even look at it. I've established what the price is based on the quality of work and what is done. And it doesn't have missing parts, and it doesn't have kicked in panels, and it doesn't have scratches, and on and on and on and on and on. What we're trying to do is establish value by making sure everything works and everything looks the best of your capabilities. This is how you're going to make extra money and have ends meet instead of working 3-4 jobs. Yeah, you're going to have your regular job. Yeah, you might do what I did and go into this full time after you get more experience or you have mechanical experience. But the point is, this is a great way to add a few bucks to the old savings account. And that way you're not stressed with all the excessive amount of price raising and gouging in the last few years that we're going through now. So I hope you've learned something here, and we'll see you on the next Flipper Guy.
Oh yeah! show you! How you like me now? Bring it on! Shut you up, son! Oh yeah, come on!
Oh, tough man.
With best-in-class frame strength and payload, only F-Series has been #1 for 29 years running. F-150, America's strongest truck, is built for tough.
That's it, boys. Bat it out for second place. Built for tough.